Welcome to Journey Now, a podcast about following Jesus that takes on serious issues without ever taking itself too seriously. Each week, the pastors, staff, and friends of Journey Church in Brentwood, Tennessee gather to catch up, share life together, and laugh a little. Okay, a lot. Maybe too much. But along the way, they also explore what it really means to bring heaven to earth, share Jesus' hospitality, and live cross-shaped lives. Part babble, part Bible, and occasionally even thoughtful and entertaining. This is Journey Now.
Yeah, Compassina's for nausea.
Welcome to another middle-aged podcast of Journey Now. We're talking about medications that Tim is allergic to.
I now take Zofran.
What is the stuff called that they throw on the vomit on the floor? The janitor. It's sawdust. Is that what it is?
It was a smell that still, I think I would, like at school, they would put stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it just lingers.
But hey, let's all right, what's our latest medical test? Let's just share about our latest medical test.
Let's not.
Okay? So Suzie
Let's not.
shared yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yes, and guys, this is a big one. Tim's waving me off on this. Okay, so
I failed.
I had some blood work done, and it was great. I was great. Had a good vein, guys. Thank you.
That's amazing.
Great vein. Kevin.
I just had my annual physical and got my blood tested.
Why are we talking about?
I don't know
because
he asked
that
me.
was the intro. The intro is you talking about the side effects of that, and then I'm going to say.
I was just wondering why Tim might throw up from a particular medication.
Because it's a
That's
side
not
effect.
a
Because of the
normal
way it
medication
smells.
that people take on a daily basis.
It's the way it smells, right?
But
No.
Tim's system.
It's
Just be honest.
this is delicate.
It's only when I'm in hospital.
There you go.
Oh.
And it's no. I mean, listen. When you have a rounded rib cage, sometimes
barrel
chested.
Yeah.
But didn't you say rounded rib cage or something?
Maybe in that
Maybe I remember
yeah.
that. You know, they just have some complications for being
Apparently.
barrel chested. It's just what it is. All right, how about you?
There it
Suzie?
is.
What?
Just latest medical test. Anything exciting?
I don't know. I think I had some blood work done.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is. Okay, Tim.
MRI.
Okay, you win.
Oh, you're just
You win.
pulling stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just pulling stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Dear listener,
Dear listener,
just take a moment.
he gone.
Yeah. Brad, I know you're still here, Brad.
Yeah.
And Seth.
Yeah.
Seth, I know you're still here. Think about the last medical test you had. Just think about it. Maybe this is how we should do call to worship this
I don't
year.
want to.
No.
Yeah.
I hate going to doctor.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Oh, wait. It wasn't that. I got the second shingles vaccine.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
what
sir.
it was.
Yes.
Kevin.
And it made my arm hurt.
Kevin.
It does.
Big baby.
Heaven or Kevin.
Kevin, that is
No,
so
but
great. Well
Tim has
done.
had shingles.
Yep.
Susie's had shingles. I just got my roof replaced. I did not. But that's a shingles
That's
joke.
a dad joke.
Wow.
Big time.
Wow.
Have you had shingles?
That might be worse than
No, I haven't
talking
either.
about medication and doctors.
Yeah.
I was making fun of us as we come into the podcast. We're talking about side effects from medication. We are middle-aged people.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I understand you have to be over 50 to get the shingles vaccine.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So Susie's all in.
Wow.
And she's actually had 4 of them, 1 a year. And then
One every quarter.
Oh, you're going straight to hell, both of you. Yeah, you're gonna get it after
Straight to
that. Sorry, Susie.
Speaking of going straight to hell,
Yeah.
yes.
I saw a really funny meme.
Do not
Good
pass go.
transition.
I saw a really funny meme, and I almost sent it to you guys, but I've noticed the last few memes I've sent to you have not garnered any kind of response, so I wasn't going to waste it.
Oh, no.
But it just said,
Oh, no.
She just posted for the reaction.
Okay.
All it said was, I was told that there would be a hand basket.
That's funny.
That's a good
That's
one.
funny.
I was told.
I would heart it.
Can
Yeah,
we
with
at
heart.
least
Yes.
get a hand
Yes,
basket?
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Don't hand back.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
I
wrong.
know.
You
That's
won't
good.
understand that.
I know.
I was told there'd
Katie
be a
told me
hand
about
back.
it, and I had to go find
hand
it.
basket.
Oh.
Like, that's really funny.
All right. Well, first of all, on behalf of the 3 of us, I apologize for not memeing more. You go between serious and scandalous.
Yeah, but I only send you really funny things. I save the really funny things.
Okay, that's fair. How is that the highest level of funny that you send to us, or does your family get the highest level, or do they get a lower filter?
It's just content related.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Justina will go on rampages where it will be 8 in a row,
Right.
And then nothing for days. It's not a steady
that.
drip. It's not a steady drip. It's just like
I get that.
Are these like IG things or are these just memes?
Instagram memes, or she loves.
Wow.
She loves.
My head's spinning.
What's that?
My head is spinning. IGs. What's an IG? And then Instagram. Got it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay.
I'm showing my age
And MS
right now.
I only send you things that are like
MS.
related to
Totally.
our craft.
We have a craft.
Hell in a
We're
handbasket.
doing a craft today. We're all making a
Or I
handbasket.
send you funny things.
Yes, that's true. Suzie is a discerning memist.
Yes.
I think we would
am.
agree. Timmons, however,
I'm going to use that
Timmons does not. He does not. He does quality over quantity. To get a meme
that
from
is
Timmons,
so true.
it's like once every month.
Yeah, because that is funny as all get out.
Yes.
Or so inappropriate.
So
that
But the
Perfect.
last one you sent, I can't remember what it
Hey.
was. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a
Like-
point of clarification.
And this is still a middle-aged conversation. Right?
if you get
We've not moved off of middle age.
if you get a meme from me, that handbasket is frozen.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. The handbasket is frozen. That's funny. That's funny. Now, what we get from Kevin are the white man thumbs up.
No, it's a
Or the unicorn.
now.
I've moved on from
He
the
was
unicorn.
shamed off of the thumbs up.
I'm back.
Our
Are you
coming back?
Our amazing, awesome security team lead. He has like one of those stickers of himself with a cigar doing the thumbs up.
Yes.
Oh,
So instead of just the emoji thumbs up, he sends the sticker of himself
I love
with the
that.
cigar and the
there it
thumbs
is.
up.
There it is.
It's really great. I think you should do that.
That's a good
Well, he
yeah.
has
You
a
can bring
thumbs
the
up.
thumbs up
For as
back.
many
Here's a thumbs up
times, for as
sticker.
many times
Yeah.
as I've smoked a cigar, that would be.
Well, you don't have to smoke a cigar, but
Okay.
it could be like.
I got a picture with him not with his thumb up. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
true.
Given
Kevin
the-
waves other fingers
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
And,
Oh, I thought you.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
I got it now.
Anyway, Suzie, on behalf of the homies, we just want to say sorry that we've not responded
you.
to the point where you didn't want to share that with us.
Yeah, I did.
Like, to me, that is us
it's like
robbing.
throwing your pearls before swinging.
Oh, that's so true.
First of all, that feels personal. And secondly,
I'm going back through right now just so you know, and just I'm
I don't know. I
You're gonna
see.
go
liking
heart
them. Yeah.
everything I say.
I'm seeing.
There it is.
Mike's last one was me with my breathing snorkeling apparatus.
That was pretty funny.
I was learning how to make stickers. Someone was Edwin. Did you show me how to do that? Who showed me? Rob showed me how to make stickers out of things.
So we made one of my face with the goggles or the snorkel.
The double
Suzie,
snorkel.
The last one I sent was this. Want to feel
I
old?
know that I didn't understand that because
There's a picture of Hanson, the band,
right.
and then below it's got these like Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they look like today.
Yeah.
But that's not them. Those
I know,
Those
it's
are
not.
women.
Not that.
But that's the
why I'm
joke.
like, okay.
That's the joke. Okay, I'm looking
So
right
there's
now.
one time.
Yep. Robert sent "I am Jesus Christ" as he was getting baptized.
Oh, that was pretty funny.
That was funny. And then here's a Tennessee Republican. Here's a comedian. Here is a Dr. Evil.
Oh, I like that one.
Yep. From this was Sam, the Little
Oh, no.
Book of Foreign Swear Words.
Oh yes.
So-
that
yeah,
was.
that was good.
That was in light of Kevin and I deciding we weren't going to swear as much.
That's right.
He was
That's
trying
my
to help
actual
us.
next topic is New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've not, the four of us, been together, and I was staggered.
Oh yeah, you
upon
weren't here
hearing-
last week.
Upon hearing, did you announce it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We
Oh, so
talked
we've
about
already
it
talked
last
about it.
week.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I won't spend any time on it. I just want to say I'm proud of you, and as a fellow Jesus follower, that is one of the worst New Year's resolutions I think I've ever heard.
I didn't call it a New Year's resolution.
No. It was
What
just
what
a-
is it? And
It's
you
just-
picked
I just-
a really bad year.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm well
The
aware.
joke yesterday was like, "Hey, I'm going to give up
I'm
candy
well
for
aware.
Halloween."
Yes.
Or no presents for Christmas. I
Right.
mean, what in the world are you guys thinking?
It might be the right year.
It might.
Well, let me ask.
See, even if I maintain my level,
And
I'll
just
be doing well.
Hey, just for the
That's fair. That's fair.
for the new people who
Is
didn't
it the
hear.
ratio? Hold on. Is it? I'm sorry.
Well, they don't know. People might not know what we're talking about.
Cussing.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
So,
Decreasing the frequency.
That's-
Kevin
Yes.
and I both separately decided
That's
on
when
our
the spirit's
own.
moving.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
so-
we wanted to
Reduce.
cuss less.
Yes.
But here's the question.
Yeah.
What are we measuring? Is it the number of cuss words, or is it the ratio between opportunities to cuss and refusals to cuss?
We're not really measuring. It's like we don't count people at church. We're not measuring the cuss words. We're just trying to use better words.
Right.
And
Be more creative.
leave room for,
The Holy
Yeah.
Spirit.
yeah.
Okay. It
I don't know.
sounds
I don't know.
like the way that you would know if you're doing that is by words like less or more. And so it seems measurable. There were words going around yesterday.
When the opportunity presents itself, because
Yeah.
it in my life it presents itself.
Because you're talking about a ratio now.
I texted
Way
you
too
a word
often.
yesterday.
So
and
the-
I
Wait,
said,
I-
"This might
the
be
best part was yesterday. So we're in this text thread, everybody, called the homies, and just something that happened in the world was just serious.
Yeah.
And Suzie dropped just a perfectly timed,
Yeah.
well placed.
well placed
Cuss word.
bomb, and at the end said, "That's the first time I've used that word today. I think."
And so, as her brothers in Christ, we celebrate that sort of progress.
I don't think I used it in our meeting yesterday.
Well, it was close. There were substitutes.
Front.
Yes.
she
Frontal.
said. Yeah.
Yeah. Fricassee. I mean, Suzie, we're proud of you. We want to
you.
stand with you in your pursuit of righteousness.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
this may be the only church podcast where ever cussing less is celebrated as a win for the kingdom. So
But it is. I'm finding
being
that a
honest.
well
I know, I
placed,
love it. I love it.
rather than the frequency.
Oh, quality over quantity. It's a meme.
No, it
The
might
meme
be.
lord.
It might be.
The meme
but
lord.
there's it gets
Say
a
it.
better response
If it's not drowning in other
yeah.
You want to be
you wanna
selective.
well placed.
Quality over quantity.
Right.
Okay. So that's really the goal for this year.
Yes.
Guys,
Unlike
our senior pastor, the goal for this year is to
And our executive.
executive pastor.
yes, get it
is
right.
to cut out the excessive swear words so that the ones you do use
Matter.
really have power.
Matter.
Yes.
Yeah. Not power over, hopefully.
No, these are power under.
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I missed last week.
Also, I would like to say we don't cuss at people.
No.
Well,
Well,
with
I
your
don't-
eyes,
Well, that's
I
a
think
different.
we've seen some expressions where I don't have to hear words; I can imagine them. But yes, that's true. That's true. But I don't know. I've never been in a car with Kevin when he's
That's
in
true.
full Kevin mode. I would
That's true.
imagine there are that he's calling down the Lord's wrath upon other drivers.
no. Actually, I'm calling on the handbasket.
Calling on the handbasket.
Yes.
Yes.
I got a
should
new
get a
word.
handbasket.
I
If I
got-
want to drive this
Yes.
road,
I
should get
hand
a
them out
handbasket.
as I'm driving.
Handbaskets? Yep.
Yeah.
You need one of these.
One
Yeah.
a handbasket
Wow.
for you. A
Yeah.
handbasket
Yeah.
for
That's
you.
right. I just give good intentions away
Yes.
on the road to hell.
Yes.
Bless everyone.
Yes.
No, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, there. it is.
Sorry.
sorry.
Yes.
Boom, boom.
The
Why
two
you
non-cussers in the
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
See, we have,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
we
Yeah.
have
The
mental
two
space.
non-cussers.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
mental space
Yeah.
for other words.
I can think of other words.
and other
Yeah.
jokes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so smart. Okay.
Yeah. You know what happens to liars?
No.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Handbasket. All right.
And a handbasket for you, and a handbasket for you.
If you reach under your chair,
All right. Speaking of
you will find
heaven
a
or Kevin,
handbasket.
Yes, Heaven or Kevin.
Paved
we got a bit of both
with
this weekend.
glory.
We got a bit of both this weekend. Kevin, as you know, hosts a convo.
Yep.
Convos with Kev.
Yep.
Convo spelled with a K.
Yes.
Oh.
And we were initially going to call it Convos Continuing with Kev, KKK, but we thought
Oh,
maybe we should
No.
do that.
No.
It's so stupid that came into your brain.
Because I don't cuss. That's why.
So intelligent.
There's room.
Yeah,
You're
it's
a
so
liar.
intelligent. So intelligent.
You are a liar.
I already told them they were liars.
I'm saying it again. And I'm cussing with my eyes.
This is what it looks like. Zoom in. Zoom in.
Yeah.
If you were ever sitting down with a meeting with Suzie and you see that look,
Yep.
you might as well start
What did
praying.
you say the other day? You're
Zara-
like, I can feel your face.
I can feel your face. That's true. And so we introduced our church, and we've referenced our alter egos before, but this was really when we introduced them to the 9 o'clock service. I don't think 11 got it, but 9 really got the introduction to our alter egos. Yeah, Reverend Kevin or Heaven. And we've explored. Zara,
his Kevin
Slay Girl. Slay the Patriarchy, Zara, Tom Timmons, and Mega Church Mike.
Yep.
And it fit because we were talking about the church and the way Paul describes the church as the dwelling place.
Yes.
The dwelling place of God, the body of Christ, all these things that we know.
Yep.
But we still treat the church as a mechanism for something other than encountering God and becoming the kind of people among whom God dwells, right? That's the reason we're not cussing as much, is that clearly grieves the Spirit, according to Ephesians. Let no unwholesome talk come out of your mouths.
Right.
When we get there, we're going to have Suzie preach that, and it's going to be great. Now,
do you want to? Are you serious about that?
What
about what you just said about cussing?
Not at all. I was just trying to jab. The unwholesome talk there has to do with divisiveness in the community.
Thank you.
So, and Suzie does not do that.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. Her unwholesome talk is of an entirely different kind. Yeah. No, I'm just totally kidding. I know I switched serious and then I went back to banter.
I just,
yeah, I know. My bad. We've
okay,
switched.
we're tracking with you.
Timestamps.
Yeah.
Woo, we've switched it.
Yeah.
And so we there was a bit of a rant at the end of our little conversation together about,
Not in convos, but at yours.
Yeah. Not in the combos. I mean, were there rants? I heard there were rants in combos.
There's always rants.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was doing a bit of a rant, and it was just about.
You ranted less at 11.
I did. I told you I would. I kept my word, because I don't want anyone to think that the problem is some specific church.
Right.
It's a theological view of the church that is independent of how big a church is or how small it is. But it's an American view of the church that sees the church as the dispenser of religious goods and services. It's the job of the church is to perform the functions of the church, marrying and burying and teaching the Bible and doing those sorts of things. And we'd all agree that's part of what the church does. But in Paul's estimation, that's totally secondary to being the church, which means you're the dwelling place of Christ on earth. So you're literally the tangible representation of Jesus to the world. And I think a lot of us buy that theology abstractly. But in our vocabulary and in our imaginations, the church is still this thing I go to and sort of passively receive in. The language that is the hangover here is the language of like, well, these are people who are in full-time ministry. I'm doing something else. They have spiritual jobs. I have a secular job. That kind of thing. Man, Paul's theology destroys all of that.
Yeah.
And what was fantastic at both services, the questions that came out of this were magnificent, particularly because we were talking about the Holy Spirit and the way God fills Christ with the fullness of deity. Christ fills his people with the fullness of his Spirit. And the idea is then his people fill the world with the fullness of Christ.
That's awesome.
And so, Paul.
I've never heard you say it like that, and that's really great.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's almost like what Paul was saying.
Yeah.
And the thing that was so different for me upon reading this years ago was that it blows up our understanding of what evangelism is, right? I'm always witnessing. There's not a time when I'm not pointing to something or imaging something. I'm always, wherever I am is holy ground, right? If I'm filled with the Spirit of Christ, then wherever I am is holy ground. It's not that there's sacred places anymore. Like in the Old Testament. Now, wherever I am is sacred because Christ fills us and me. And so we were just exploring some of those big implications, raised questions about the Holy Spirit and what does it mean to be filled by the Spirit, and is that different from baptism and so on. Did we get any good textual questions, Mr. Dixon, or do you want to recap what you guys talked about in Convos?
Well, you threw me. I was so entertained by your...
You looked half asleep. Not gonna lie.
No, not true.
That was about half mast, those eyeballs.
Give me a second. And
Mike, what themes did you hear in the questions that came in the gather? Was there a theme?
I don't know that I picked up on a theme. Did
Or
you,
a line
Suze?
through, or...
We were talking about one question we got, and we get a lot is, well, because I was contrasting a church that focuses on programs only, and hallelujah for programs, and so we called that kind of a functional model where you're constantly evaluating programs, but you evaluate them according to participation in them, not necessarily are they transforming.
Yeah, and you pointed out that you got a raise when your programs did well with lots of people coming.
Absolutely.
And other people on staffs that you've been on have gotten fired because they didn't have good turnouts.
Exactly. And what wasn't measured is, was God present? Was God glorified? Now, we might give lip service to that, but really the measure was the same way you'd measure a consumer item, right? I mean, did people like it? Were they engaged? And this was the model we inherited. So there's no blame here. And I'm sure there are churches that still do this, but this isn't about anybody else. This is about the journey that we've had coming from places where that was the way it was done.
Yeah.
And trying to embody a new sort of orientation.
Well, and it wasn't even the places that we came from. It was everywhere. It was the
You're right.
conferences we went
thank
to.
you.
Yep.
It was the magazine articles on leadership that we read.
That's right.
The books that
That's
we
good.
read.
That's good.
It wasn't just even the places that we were at.
You're right.
Because there were really good things about the places we were at too. But it's what you're saying is like it's a cultural thing.
That's right. Thank you. Suzie, that's really good. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, this is no shot at anybody other than what I grew up in and what I participated in.
And what we thought was the right way to be. I mean, and even like we talked about it in between gatherings that like it's literally how we were formed as leaders.
Yep.
And so I can speak for myself in that like anytime we encounter a obstacle or a problem to solve, my default always goes back to that. Like I can create a program in my sleep and I can get people to come to whatever, and
except memes.
Except for memes.
Yeah.
But I mean like that's the default response.
Absolutely.
And also when people don't show up to stuff, you start questioning the value of it.
That's right.
And what we're saying is that's not necessarily what we ought to be doing.
Correct.
Yes.
That shouldn't be the focus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or even the means of evaluation, right?
The metric.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That was the thing.
Well, there was a question on the text line that was
Nice, Kev's back.
Is similar to what you guys are asking. The question, I can't find it, but it was a question that revolved around the idea of, well, it's easy to sit in the chair when your church is doing well and making these critiques. What about those churches that aren't doing well, where they're dwindling and they can't make a budget and they're struggling? What are they doing it wrong? Are they? And that was, and I thought, it's the wrong question, but
because you kind of talked about that at the 11. Like,
what'd you say at 11?
Well, I was just saying.
Let's see if we answered it the same way.
I know that's Kevin is kind of like the cleanupper. So no, I mean, so if I were talking to that person, I'd be like, I'd be exactly what I'd start where you started, which was, hey, you're still using evaluations that are, I think, corrupted. Hey, what's it mean if a church is dwindling? What's that? And why is that a negative?
Right.
Always. And it may be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not.
Yep.
But I'm saying if that's the sole criteria, and one of the things I just brought up at 11 that brought out some emotion to me is just like the bivocational guy who's a plumber who's pastoring a rural church of 20 people. They're all over 70, and he's been doing that for 40 years. And it's like, you want to tell me that's not fruitful?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you really expose the corruption of the air that we've lived in for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, at my table on Sunday night, there was a real sweet woman I had met for the first time, and she's from Australia. And I asked her if she grew up going to church, and she said that she grew up going to this non-denominational church in Australia, and she's like, but it's really small. It's only 20 people. Right. And I was like, yeah, but that's awesome.
Right.
Like that's the church. And like you have like you're faithful to each other. You're gathering, you're helping each other. And she's
Right.
like, yeah, it's always been really beautiful. And she was celebrating it, you know?
love that.
And then I have a friend who you've met that has been pastoring for, gosh, I mean, probably 15 years and planted this church. And it's been a struggle the whole time in terms of, you know, people coming, people staying, people being committed.
Yeah.
And he's bivocational. They have one person on staff that's full-time that they pay, who's awesome. But, you know, there's always been the question of like how to measure this and if it's meant to be, if it's meant to continue. And he always goes back to for lack of a better term, the responsibility that he feels like God has given him for these people and that it matters to these people. And to me, that is a true shepherd. That is, I mean, it is what you talked about. And like by all the measurement standards that we were taught, he probably, you know, we would have said 10 years ago, you should probably let this go. You know, and I even brought it up to him recently. Like I was like, you know, you don't have to keep doing this. And he's like, yeah, I do. And I thought that was really awesome.
Well, were you going to say something?
I think the question that gets asked is what is healthy? What is and what is fruitful? Those are the questions we should ask. Those are different questions than what is successful.
Right.
That's good.
Because part of what we're identifying is that our culture says something is successful by its size, its breadth of influence.
Healthy things grow.
Healthy
That's
things
what we
grow.
always were told.
Yeah.
And then in steps Jesus, who periodically would thin the ranks by teaching something really difficult. And then his numbers would go down. I mean, God walked the planet and was abandoned.
Come on.
So there's something broken in our perception of who we're following if we only measure our success by our crowds.
Yeah. Well, the crowds in Mark are negative.
I know.
Like they're a negative character.
Yeah.
Because cancer grows too. It's not healthy.
That's true.
You know,
Well-
I think NASCAR, we talked about that before.
Well, and
Yeah,
also
that
like
grows.
what does it mean to grow too? Like that's a whole
Right.
other thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
growth numerically, okay, that's one thing. But like growing in faithfulness, growing
on.
in
Love,
courage, growing
joy,
in
peace,
all the fruits
totally.
of the spirit together.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
fruit of the spirit.
you.
That's
Yeah,
it.
thank
That's
you.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. It's not
you.
plural.
But
Thank
like
you.
Yeah.
what do you mean by growth? Are we growing?
Yeah.
Are we growing in our understanding of God? Are we growing in our awareness of his presence among us? Like those are like really
Here's what
Other
changed for me.
questions.
Here's what changed for me. When you realize the emphasis in the New Testament, it almost entirely is on being faithful rather than being effective.
yeah.
There's not one verse that says do great things for God.
Right.
Right? Instead, you've got. We were talking about Paul's admonition: make it your ambition to live a quiet life, mind your own business, work with your hands. It's like okay, you know, there it is.
Mind your own business. I love that phrase. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know the plans he has for me, Mike.
Yeah, plans to prosper you.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating what that plan looked like
And
back
if-
in the Old
And
Testament.
if I
Right.
pray that God will expand my territory,
I know
enough.
that's Kevin has a buzzsaw
Yeah.
on a couple of like if Kevin is a human chainsaw when it comes to the prayer of Jabez or like doing religious performance.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Like you will get a bit of both heaven and Kevin against those things. So Kevin, my territory expanded when I started taking antidepressants. And all of a sudden I gained 50 pounds. And I was like, God, that's not the territory I wanted to expand right
Right.
there.
I'm not
Okay?
taking that territory.
Okay?
Right.
I mean, I travel the country and I get
Yes,
to see
you do.
these
Yes,
churches
you do.
of
Yes,
all
you
sizes
do.
and all the things.
Yes.
And it, you know, I can also hear people listening to this saying, "Yes, but that little church was like fruitless." You know, like there's a reason why that all these things are closing down.
Sure.
And then you also get these really great groups of people
Yeah.
that are trying really hard, but still I think the metric is always off because these people are leaving a lot of these places because they're not doing the things that they think
Right.
church should be doing, which is
Right.
having an amazing service, and because the services aren't good anymore, so the church disbands.
The services aren't good.
Right.
That's the
Right.
difference between healthy, right? I mean, that's really the question. Does the church bear fruit? And the only fruit the New Testament's interested in is the fruit of the fidelity of the community to Christ and its transformation. That's exactly right, Tim.
Yeah.
But
it's
even
so good.
still now, like when I talk to people sometimes and they tell me, that they love the church that they go to anywhere, not just here locally. And like, I'll ask, well, what is it that you like about it?
Yeah.
And, the teaching is so good. The worship is so good.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yep.
and that's awesome. Hallelujah. Like,
Right.
What's that like to be at a church like that?
I really don't know.
When I was pastoring in rural Pennsylvania,
Yes, sir.
back when I was still young, but there was
Mumbly pig.
I knew a couple of No, this was
a good
post
poll.
that, but that's good.
Post Mumbly pig.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
good.
stopped throwing knives at my feet. Anyway, there was a couple of guys that came to our church who were itinerant pastors in a denomination, UCC, and one of the names was Bob Adams, and he's still a friend of mine.
Shout out to Bob.
Yeah, shout out to Bob.
Bob Adams.
Bob, if you're listening.
You know what'd be funny? He might actually.
Really?
Yeah, he pops up in the weirdest places. But Bob is probably 10 to 15 years older than me.
Right.
100 years old?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's probably older than that. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Older
He
than
would
100.
go on, and all around this little rural is dying coal towns because they were closed all the mines.
Yeah, yeah.
And so these towns were shriveling up, but they had these little churches in them, but no pastor. And so he would go and
my goodness.
on an itinerary of I'll be at that church on this Sunday and that church on that Sunday. And I said, what are you doing? Just invite them to our church. They can drive over here. And he goes, there's a good community there. They love each other. And he said,
he got it.
He said, it's a good work. And I went, okay. And then he got a bunch of other people to do it with him. Like, so they would go around to these different, like retired pastors and stuff would go around to these little churches. He said, sometimes there's 8, sometimes there's 20. He said, there's one church up in Susquehanna that has 100 people, but they have nothing but a building that's paid for, and they don't pay him a dime. He just shows up, he preaches, he does his thing, he loves on those people, and he leaves. And you know who they call when they're in the hospital? They called him.
Yeah.
And he would go visit, and he would and he had a freaking full-time job.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was retired. And he
Frickin' good use.
Yeah.
See,
Good
that I'm
creative.
I'm changing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it changed the way I saw church.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
You have to meet people like that. You can agree with the theory,
Right.
but until you see it in its beauty, you just don't buy it.
So he got me to do it a couple times when he
I
couldn't
love
go,
that.
and
Is this when you had the mustache and the?
oh yeah, full on.
Because there were some pictures we saw at staff retreat.
And I had hair.
Oh man, you were handsome.
I was.
You were totally handsome.
I don't know what the heck.
There was
happened.
one picture though where you looked like you could have been on a seminary brochure. It's like
Yes.
this is what we want.
This
In
is the EV3
1972.
pastor.
Yeah.
Yes, this is what an EV3 pastor looks like
Yes.
and dresses like.
Yes.
And it's like, and you actually look younger now, which is the amazing
Which
part.
is the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
But anyway, there was a
love that.
cool picture of what we're talking about, and it did change it changed the way I saw church. It changed because I showed up at one church in Coaldale, Pennsylvania. Shout out to Coaldale.
Bob Adams,
Yeah.
Dale.
17 people.
Yeah. Shout out to 17, the same number that listen to this podcast, or at least start it.
Yes. And there were probably there was one child, and the rest of them were 40 plus,
Yeah.
maybe even 70 plus, but it didn't matter.
Gosh, the way that I would have seen that group most
Right.
of my life.
Right.
So, but they were
Miserable failure.
I was probably 27 years old. I delivered probably one of the worst messages of my entire life. Still learning how to do ministry and stuff, and they thanked me
Yeah.
and encouraged me, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
there's something different
There's
about
fruit.
this.
That's what fruit
there's
looks like.
something different about this. Anyway,
I love that. Great.
yeah, it's not much.
love
I
that.
don't talk much about my rural ministry in Pennsylvania, but
Is that where your hatred of turkey vultures started?
Or Fords.
maybe
Yeah.
might have been.
Of driving on grass.
Yes,
We need to explore this more.
yes, we probably do.
What's underneath that?
Yeah. Who hurt you? What kind of bird hurt you?
Yeah, it's also where I got to go to prisons and do a lot of stuff too.
Oh,
Because they send me, like, I was like, "Hey, you need to go do the prison thing."
Yeah.
Oh, what's the prison thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that. I was part of a church that was similar. It was maybe 200 people, but he was a pastor of the highest caliber, and we would go visit people who had just died. Like he'd be like, here's a dead body, and we're just going to pray over this dead body and go minister to the family. And it's like they just drag you around to all the things you'd never choose to go to, and that's where you learn it.
right. Yep,
That's it.
it was
man.
powerful.
Yes.
It changed my life.
I love that so much. That's so great. That's so great. Excellent, guys. Any last words, Timothy?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
Hey, wow.
I mean, never let us.
I
I didn't know what Edwin made this dramatic motion, and I was like, oh.
I just saw it out of the corner of my eye.
I was like, is this we're bad? Was this someone?
Yes.
I was going to say, never let us be accused of going too long.
Yes. And may there be frozen hand baskets.
Yes, along the way.
And thanks, Bob,
Thanks,
Bob.
for good
Thanks,
work.
Bob.
Brad, love you.
Bob,
Sethi. Have her, Kevin.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Journey Now. If for some bizarre reason you liked it, help us spread the word by leaving a review and sharing it on your socials. Journey Now is a production of Journey Church in Brentwood, Tennessee. Edwin Rivera III produces the show, and he fixes all the guests' slurping, gum chewing, coughing, and other annoying sounds. Randy Hansen provides technical assistance, even though he denies it. And Grant Opperman edits Journey Now and intervenes when necessary to tell the crew that you can't say that. Special shout out to dear listener Brad Erre and dear YouTube watcher Seth Erre. If there's anyone else who makes it through each week, we're so sorry, but thanks to you too.
Like I've got ants, and it's like, oh my gosh, I want to
We want to see that.
I don't
We
want
need to
see
slip
that.
him some.
forget what composine's for.
No.
Compazine.
You don't think it's working?
Oh no, that's not working.
Has that ED
I'm going to look
medicine
up
helped?
what compazine is. I want to know what it is.
Oh, now we're doing investigative reporting.
Perfect.
Yes.
It's red.
It's right. All right, what is
Absolutely, my
What
friend.
is it? Well, welcome to another Journey Now. We are
That is the
investigating.
lowest freaking
That's so
energy.
funny.
No, we're not
It
starting.
can- it
We're
can
starting that
treat
over.
nausea and vomiting.
Here's what it is.
It can also treat anxiety and schizophrenia.
Ooh. Well, that explains a lot.
So
So do
One
they
of the
give it to
things-
you after you throw up from the Dilaudid? Is that what happened?
Yeah, compazine is for nausea.
welcome.